You can't multiply your wealth if you don't patch the small leaks.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. And I'm Yetta Decker.
And I'm Ken Decker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, tactics, and truths that we all need, we all deserve, you, I, everyone. So we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we build wealth wisely through real estate. Super pumped about this. Number 7 of 8 in the journey of the wealth formula expanded. Does it get any better than that? Oh, wait, yes, it does. We're going to get to number 8, which is even better than number 7.
That's what I was just going to say. And we were learning from Zane, who's the mentor of David and Sarah in the book. And if you haven't read it, it's a fun book. It has a fun ending.
So says the author himself.
So says the author, yes. Maybe
So
slightly
people,
biased.
Slightly. Others have told us the same thing, though.
Some have said it's the best financial book they've ever read.
And some have said it's the only financial book they've ever read.
That's true, too. Hopefully it's not the same people.
No, most of the time it's not.
So Zane's talking to Sarah and David, and he says, you can't have increase without integrity. And the definition of integrity is no leaks.
Right. Workability. Does it work? Will it hold wealth, the vehicles that you're using, or are the strategies and plans that you're using not leak proof, or can you patch the leaks? So one example would be, and we've talked about this in segment 6, I believe, and probably in all the segments, is when you borrow at too high an interest rate to buy an investment property even, where it doesn't cash flow. It's too risky. It's too good to be true because it's not true.
It's got leaks.
It's got leaks. The leaks are massive, and they may not seem big. Like, we've talked to a fair number of people that have read the book, gotten counsel elsewhere. Not if they've called us, because if they're calling us, I hope and believe and pray that we've understood the bigger picture. And when there's something that looks faulty or leaky, as we might say, in their wealth building strategy, we're telling them.
Yep.
Right? And yet they've bought something where not only is it upside down, because sometimes having something where you're actually putting a little bit of money toward the monthly mortgage payment, even after you're getting your income from your tenant, can be an okay strategy because it's paying down more than the principal. It's paying down, it's paying more than the interest. It's paying down the principal. And so maybe it's a forced savings plan. And there were times in the real estate market where if you wanted to start with a single family or a detached home, it did mean you were going to probably put a little bit of your own cash toward
each month.
But not toward the interest, toward paying down the principal.
Yeah. And
two different things.
Yeah. And we can run the numbers on our proprietary software, and it's going to tell us how much you're short each month or how much you're positive each month. And then what the pay down is, what the growth in the value, typical growth will be if we set it at 3 or 4%. And then what your actual earning is on your money. And if you think of that money that you put in each month that is short as, hey, I'd be putting that into an investment anyways. It's just going into this investment called a rental property. But we still want to look at that very closely and be very careful.
Really careful.
Yes.
So if you had to borrow at a high interest rate because you really weren't meant to qualify for that.
Yeah,
and that's usually the biggest reason for a high interest rate. If the rates are good and you don't qualify, it's usually because for whatever reason, your credit worthiness or your capacity to repay, there's something that doesn't allow things to align properly. Right. So that's a leak. And we want to catch that leak and shut it down and not buy the investment property if that's there from the beginning.
Right. And now in this case, Zane is talking to Sarah and David, and they're tracking their net worth on a spreadsheet, which is available actually at wealth-formula.com or .ca, either one. There's a 12-column spreadsheet in there so that you can do your net worth every month. And what happened was they were making great progress. And then they met with Zane. They said, what's happening? Like, our numbers aren't great. Things aren't working quite as we thought they would. And Zane explained it to like the road slippery. You're losing some traction because some of your wealth is slipping away slowly. They got back into the old habits of buying that coffee, buying that lunch out, the Coke, the hamburger. And it was slowly eroding their ability to grow their wealth. And so Zane said, watch for that. It's a slow leak. It's a small leak, like you have in a tire, a slow leak. Or you can have a giant gash in your tire and it goes flat all at once. Now that's where I was struggling. And Yetta, of course, struggled along with me because we worked together, right? And we had reached a fairly high pinnacle of net worth. And then it seemed like everything we were investing in was going bad. And over a period of time, I don't know, 3-5 years, it was around $1 million had slipped away. And not like one Coke, one coffee at a time. I'm talking like big chunks of investments went south. They went bad. And I had to look at that and I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And then we were in Australia and I handed this book to our speaker coach, Lisa Nichols. And I said, this is my book. I'd love to talk to you about it and whatever. And because I'd been having losses, I felt like a fraud. I didn't really want to promote the book.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
Tell them, not me. Oh, yeah. I remember, honey. It was one of those embarrassing moments for me and for you.
So Lisa said, well, here, we're having a private little session in VIP. There was like 99 people there. She said, go on stage and tell them about your book. And I sat down on stage and started talking about the book. And I don't know if you've ever had an aha moment when you're in front of people. It can be quite embarrassing. But I realized what happened was my frame, my blueprint for my success level, it was like, who am I to be this successful? Who am I to make more money than my parents ever did? Who am I to make more money than my older siblings make and have more money than them? And so I was getting reckless with the investments. I wasn't doing the research properly before investing. It was like 100,000 here, a couple 100,000 there. It was just zeros. Like before, if I invest like $2,000, I was like, oh, got to make sure it's perfect, right?
It makes sense that it's sound and viable. And so it was carelessness in your case, or as you said, reckless.
Mm-hmm.
Reckless, but based on your blueprint. So sometimes the leak, so this might be a tip for you, sometimes the leak is associated to old patterns that have been there that you don't even know are running the show. Yes.
And so, grab a copy of The Wealth Formula. It's a great book. I can say because I wrote it. And Yetta helped me write it because she reviewed every chapter as I hand wrote it. It's a great book. And really, stewardship is the important part here that we're trying to get across. So growth without stewardship becomes erosion. And we're glad that you joined us because guiding you to build wealth wisely through real estate, because it's about much more than just the money, is so important to us.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward.